Hi!
Hi, guys. Well, from beautiful Salt Lake City, Utah,
It's Thank God I'm Atheist.
the podcast.
I'm Frank Feldman.
And I'm Dan Beecher.
And coming up on the show today, Dan, it is the Lenten season.
Indeed.
Mardi Gras happened earlier this week.
Yep. Ash Wednesday. We talk. We'll talk about that.
Something to talk about with Ash Wednesday.
But here's the thing.
It's Lent.
It's Lent now, for y'all.
Mm-hmm.
All of you Catholics that are listening to the show. It's Lent.
Yeah.
And we're going to talk about giving up stuff.
Is there value?
Is it something, is there something to this whole give up something for a period of time thing?
There probably
We'll see. We're not going to give it away. Question mark. But before we get to that.
So, Dan.
Yeah.
You've heard about this new sickness that's
sweeping the nations.
Coronavirus, everyone.
Uh-oh. Skuntundun.
It is out there.
Yeah.
And that's kind of been the message this week. It's out.
It's
containment has failed.
It's all the rage.
It's in Europe. Italy is getting hit fairly hard. South Korea. Another place that's been hit hard is Iran.
Yeah. Okay.
China's a major trading partner, and so it's actually not
they decided
surprising
to trade in microorganisms.
Yes, and their response has been lackluster. Let's say. Apparently, Iran, their version of Islam is very anti-science.
Oh.
Apparently. I did not know this.
It's a bad time to be that.
Yeah.
You want to be pro-science when the viruses go around.
And so some clerics have had some ideas.
Good. I feel like this is going to go well.
The Ayatollah Tabrizian, who has repeatedly publicly denounced Western medicine as un-Islamic.
Oh, wow. He is one of my favorite Ayatollahs, by the way, of all of the Ayatollahs.
The trading cards? Uh-huh. Yeah.
I have his rookie card. I'm pretty excited about it.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Apparently, he's a big fan of things like... what do you call them? Essential oils.
Oh, great.
But he also has, he's got
That's just because he's got a bunch of family that are doing the MLMs. They're selling.
doTERRA.
Uh-huh.
They're deep into doTERRA.
Yeah.
And the other ones.
They're like, screw Young Living. We're a doTERRA family. Allahu Akbar.
Well, he's got over 120,000 followers on the social messaging service Telegram.
Okay.
So whatever that is, I don't know what that is.
I do love it. It's like Twitter, but in Morse code.
Beep, beep, he's listed several alternative techniques for fighting the spread of this coronavirus.
Okay,
which is now you're going to hear it a few times probably on the show. COVID-19. If you haven't heard it already. You haven't picked up on that. That's what they're kind of calling the whole thing.
Okay,
just great catchy name. COVID-19. So there's some of his suggestions include consuming copious amounts of brown sugar.
Good one. Yes.
Burning wild rue.
Oh, sure.
Which is a kind of it's a plant. It's a flowering plant.
It's a herb.
Yes, exactly. Probably like myrtle, I imagine.
It's for remembrance, according to Ophelia in
really? Oh, I did not know that.
You must wear your rue with a difference.
He also suggests inhaling snuff.
Ah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
He has one of his tips, though, kind of caught some people off guard.
Okay.
He says, before bedtime, drench some cotton in violet oil and apply onto your anus.
I believe we have the world's greatest troll on our hands, ladies and germs. This is epic. Because there's no way he believes
No, he
that
does.
this will help with coronavirus.
No, he does.
just wants to see how many people he can
Totally
make
believes that.
do a little bum cleanse with what kind of oil?
Violet oil?
Violet oil. Oh.
Violet oil. Yeah. He claims that it has miraculous life-enhancing properties, such as the power to increase brain mass and reverse cognitive diseases such as Down syndrome.
Oh my God.
He is straight out of American woo-woo-iness, but without any sort of like. I mean, I would say American wooies are pretty shameless. This is Gwyneth Paltrow crazy.
Oh, this is Gwyneth aspires to this shit. This is when he releases a candle that smells like his own like famunda, his own nasty. That'll be a moment.
Well, also, there's been some other things in Iran that I thought I would touch on.
Okay.
Because
touch on. Because we were talking about bums.
Bummies. No. So, the deputy minister.
Okay.
Health minister.
Oh, God.
His name is Iraj Harichi.
Uh-huh.
That's what I'm going to stick with that pronunciation.
Nailed it.
Yep. He on Monday got onto national TV and denied that they were covering up sort of the scale of the outbreak in Iran. He appeared, and people noticed this at the time, to be in physical discomfort as he was speaking to the reporters. Okay. Apparently, he was sweating profusely. And was not well. Well,
they're all going to die. Everyone in that country is going to die.
On in a video that he released on Tuesday, he said, "I had a fever as of last night, and my preliminary test was positive around midnight for coronavirus."
Jesus Christ!
Right? I've isolated myself in a place since, and I'm now starting medication. Is obviously, we will definitely be victorious against this virus in the next few weeks. He says, even though, he did not, probably not very convincing.
Look for the next press event to be announcing his death and replacement. Wow.
Yeah, I thought that was too good.
That is amazing. People. Sorry, Iran. I guess you're all dead.
No, Iran's fucked.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. Like, just everyone, here's just a quick little RPSA about coronavirus.
Okay. We are doctors.
We are doctors, so we know all about this kind of stuff.
Definitely take our advice no matter what.
I would say, don't overreact.
Yeah.
Don't panic.
Yeah.
Maybe when people are talking about getting prepared and buying supplies and all that kind of stuff, just remember that what you're probably buying supplies for is your own personal quarantine.
Yeah.
Right? When you get sick. Because you are going to get sick.
We all get sick.
No, you're going to get this. Right.
Okay.
So that's just keep a level head.
Just, most people don't die from it.
Except right now that you're going to get it. Even if you don't, even if you're asymptomatic, right? You're going to be a carrier, right?
Jesus.
Like, just accept it.
You're not going to get it.
Like, just... serenity now, right?
Just and move through it. Just enjoy it. Why not learn to enjoy coronavirus?
Listen, Dan, I have had a very secret little fantasy for a very long time of being quarantined. It just seems like the most perfect excuse for a very lazy couple of weeks.
Just leave me the fuck alone.
Yeah.
Everyone go away. No,
by yourself.
I'm far too contagious.
You have
don't come.
the perfect excuse to avoid all human contact.
Oh, you can just do it, Frank.
No, you can't.
You could just do it.
No, you can't. You can't.
Use 2 weeks of your vacation and just sequester.
No. I'm doing FMLA. This is not going to be vacation.
Okay, fine. All right. I'm going to take us. I'm just going to be in keeping with the theme for a minute. I'm going to take us to today for you and me, not for those listening at home, but today for you and me, it is Ash Wednesday.
That's true.
And traditionally, the Catholics celebrate this by making people dirty.
Indeed.
They smudge some ashes on the forehead of their parishioners, and
why on your forehead?
Because it's the most visible thing.
So you're supposed to just be a little billboard for Jesus for the day.
Yeah.
Your forehead is.
Exactly.
This is not a reminder to you.
I even saw a meme.
I would say the back of your hand, because then you look down and you're like, oh, hey, look, Jesus.
Right. No, it's not about you. Don't get it twisted. This is about everybody seeing you. It's like the one time of the year when Catholics have something as obvious as a yarmulke or a burqa or whatever.
Okay.
And as a matter of fact, I saw a meme today that was like looking for I think it was posted in the members only lounge, but it was like looking for a good Catholic man. Well, today God marked them all for your convenience or whatever.
Oh, that's fun.
Cute. Not really. Anyway, so there are big traditions around this thing, but this is the moment of coronavirus.
Oh no.
And everybody touching everybody is not the best idea, and everybody's terrified of it. So the Vatican had their thing. But Pope Francis didn't do all the stuff. He did shake some hands. He wanted to make a big show of being willing to touch people. But a lot of the priests that he met with very decidedly did not kiss his ring.
Oh yeah.
A lot of not kissing. When I was in Spain recently, we were there around Christmas time.
Yeah.
And it was amazing. One of the traditions that we saw multiple times was somebody would have a baby Jesus, and they'd hand it around to everybody to kiss. You're supposed to kiss this little sort of porcelain or wood or whatever baby Jesus. And when we went to midnight mass, and there was the line that was set up for the Eucharist for what do they call it? When they eat Jesus, when they eat and drink Jesus.
I don't know. Eucharist sounds good to me.
It's Eucharist.
Okay.
They have that other word for it. Anyway, I'm not going to be good at words tonight. Anyway, but then there was this next line that formed for everybody to kiss Jesus, and so and there was one person. There was a priest holding this little baby Jesus, and then a person would lean in and kiss, and then there was a person standing right next to the priest who would just wipe wherever they kissed on Jesus. And they would just come in and wipe it real quick, and then the next person would kiss wherever, forehead, knee, whatever, and then the person would pay attention and then wipe that part. Anyway.
Very good.
In other parts, in more rural parts of Italy, as you said, coronavirus is in Italy.
Oh, yeah.
They canceled mass in several parts of Italy.
I heard about this.
Just so that they wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
In the Philippines.
Oh boy.
Which is a largely Catholic country, the only sort of Catholic country in Asia. They experimented with the thing. They sprinkled ashes instead of smudging ashes, so that no one touched anybody. They just did a little sprinkle.
How did it work? Did it take?
I think it's great.
Did the Jesus take?
I think it still takes. As long as you look like a coal miner, you're going to be fine.
Okay.
So there you go.
So it just kind of had a dirty brow.
Yes, exactly.
Get good and sweaty beforehand so it sticks.
That's what you want.
Yeah, okay.
You want.
Well, very good.
There you go.
Very nice. Not to stray too far from the coronavirus.
No, one would hate to do that.
It's all corona all the time, everyone. No, this is my last corona.
Okay, good.
Yeah, okay.
My corona.
All right. Are you aware of a very large Muslim country by the name of Indonesia?
I've heard of it.
Yeah. Well, they are very proud at the moment, Dan, of the fact that they have had 0 coronavirus cases.
Interesting.
And they're sort of in a region of the world where you would expect it's probably should have hit them by now. In fact, Harvard actually sort of has examined the numbers and the statistics of the whole thing, and they say that they absolutely should have some cases on their hands.
Means that they probably do.
This study that some researchers did suggests that Indonesia should already have confirmed up to 10 cases.
Okay.
Given the average daily air travel volumes.
Sure.
From Wuhan.
Right.
Into Indonesia.
Okay.
However, their health minister, one Terawan Agus Petrano, he says that's insulting.
Oh.
He has dismissed the study.
Oh.
Because
how dare they?
Here's the deal. They pray, Dan.
Well, there you go. That's what we've been forgetting. I knew there was a step we were skipping.
So he says, in accordance with Pancasila, which is the state ideology,
okay,
whatever, our country believes in God. No matter the religion, praying is of utmost importance. We work and pray. It's an honorable thing, he said. If there are other countries protesting our approach, just let them. It is our nation's right to rely on the Almighty. Why should we be ashamed of relying on the Almighty? We should not be ashamed of praying.
Oh, they're fucked. They're so screwed.
They're really screwed. Did I mention that he's the health minister?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that doesn't. That's not going to go well. Oh my God, you guys. Religion will save you as long as you don't count anybody.
So apparently, there were questions from the media on Monday.
Was he coughing? Was he sweating?
No. He so far he's faring better than Iran's health minister. But people were asking why the government had only tested a total of 104 specimens for the suspected coronavirus cases so far. 102 of the tests came out negative, and 2 are still waiting for results. His response was that it was being done for budget efficiency reasons. We have to be rational, he said. We have to avoid any inefficient budgeting. If I have to check everyone who coughs, what would the budget be?
Well, he's not wrong. It will cost more if you test all the people who might
find
have
out
the disease.
that you actually have it inside your country.
Right. Yeah. It's costly to, and plus then you have to but
what do you do? What do you do when you've put all of your eggs in the prayer basket?
You die.
I mean, you're not gonna. It's not.
You
that,
contract coronavirus.
It's not that deadly.
No,
of a
not.
thing.
It's like what 2% of people.
2% of. I think it's something like 2% of the people who show symptoms.
Okay.
Because again, there's all these asymptomatic people,
right,
that are just spreading their dirty virus everywhere.
Right. You might have it for all I know.
I probably do.
I don't trust you.
I probably have it. Let's face it.
You're a carrier. All right. Well, I'm going to take us to the faraway land because we've been in faraway lands all the time of Arizona. Have you heard of Arizona?
I love Arizona.
I've never really spent any time in Arizona.
Neither have I.
However, we do talk about it from time to time because they're batshit.
Yeah, we talk about it like we know it.
Right.
Just like we do Florida.
Arizona insists that they're part of they think they're the Southwest, but they act like they're the South. So that's what's fun about them. So anyway, recently in Arizona, there was the Secular Coalition for Arizona had its 10-year anniversary and declared Secular Day at the state capitol.
Oh, nice.
Nearly
That sounds nice.
Yeah. They had a whole bunch of people came and gathered. It was a day where the legislature was in session, so there was a schedule that was supposed to honor this. And one of the ways that they were going to do that is by having State Senator Juan Mendez give a secular invocation.
Why did there have to be an invocation at all?
Well,
seems like you don't invoke.
Well,
on secular day,
they do invoke in that state. So they've had problems with this in the past. Mendez, when he was in the state house, he did deliver a secular invocation, at which point the next day they counteracted it with a religious one.
Oh, good.
This has been a problem in the whole thing. Well, this time it was on the books. It was in the schedule. They were ready to go. And then the Senate president called on someone else instead, who gave a Christian one.
No.
Later claiming it was just a mistake.
I got confused.
It was like, I used the wrong schedule. And the person that I called on to give us an invocation happened to have one at the ready.
There was a lot of confusion.
It was hard. I don't know if you know how hard it is.
I mean, I hope they passed the right bills that day.
Oh, who knows?
Right?
Who knows what they voted on?
Yeah.
Mass hysteria.
But everything else was okay.
Yeah.
What a fucker.
Yeah, exactly. For his part, Senator Mendez does not believe that there was just a simple mix-up.
Oh, he doesn't?
No.
He's a real sleuth, isn't he?
He has somehow managed
dug up
to sniff out a nefarious scheme. So well hidden it was, but he still managed to get to it. He tweeted, I must apologize for believing Republicans, Senator Prez at Fran K. Fan or whatever, and at AZ Senate GOP when they told me I would be included in the cultural practice of sharing an invocation before we started the public's business. I guess our secular values threaten Republican blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
In Arizona, as in Utah, as in anywhere, it makes sense not to believe them when they extend a fake olive branch to you.
Yeah. That's like
because
some
if there's
Lucy shit there.
Yeah, literally.
Lucy and Charlie Brown shit.
That's some that's just lying. I don't know if they are aware. Maybe that's why they want to put the 10 Commandments up, because they forget them easy. Because they just don't remember.
Short-term memory damage.
Right, yeah.
It's just...
Wait, lying? I'm not allowed to lie? What? Bearing false witness. What does that even mean? Is that even a thing? Nobody knows.
I don't know.
Nobody knows what that means.
Oh, goodness gracious, Dan. Well, I've got a story here about the Supreme Court.
Oh.
Doing something interesting.
Okay.
They turned away a case this week.
Yeah.
That it was a religious bias claim against Walgreens.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
The drugstore.
The drugstore
chain.
Yeah. They this case centered on a man who was fired from Walgreens.
Okay.
Who had asked not to work on Saturdays for religious reasons.
Okay.
As he is a member of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
Sure.
Right. And apparently he must have had it sort of worked out. right? Because he worked there for a while, and he was a trainer. Actually.
Okay.
He trained customer service representatives.
Yeah.
And at a Walgreens call center.
Okay.
In Orlando. So he didn't actually even work in one of the stores.
Sure.
But he was fired in 2011 after he failed to show up for work on a Saturday for an urgent training session. Apparently there was some training emergency.
Right.
Which I can imagine.
Yeah. That can happen, and then they call it, and he didn't come.
And he did not come in, even though he was required to be there.
Okay.
And so they fired him.
Sure.
And so what is interesting here is that what this case was testing was whether companies had to give this allowance to religious employees.
Okay. Sure.
Right.
Yeah.
In order to comply with federal anti-discrimination laws.
RFRA stuff.
Something called Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
I may have heard of it.
Yeah, right. This is the one that prohibits employment discrimination based on race, color, religion, sex, and national origin.
Right.
Right. The requirement is that employers must reasonably accommodate workers' religious practices.
Sure.
Unless that would cause the company undue hardship.
Right.
And so this seems like they had established this, they needed him there.
Sure.
And so by not hearing this, the Supreme Court has said that employers don't have to grant these kind of...
so they had won before. Walgreens had won before.
I believe so.
And then, okay.
Or maybe the guy had.
Well, that's an important detail.
I don't know. But it was going up the chain.
Yeah.
Right. And the rulings had been, I guess for Walgreens.
Yeah, it must have been.
So
there you go.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was an interesting development because one you wouldn't expect.
No, not from this court.
Yeah.
This court is designed to disappoint us. So anything that goes a little bit in our direction is a nice thing. Well, I've made a calculated error.
Oh?
I have done my... I actually shifted the order that I was going to do my stories in because I wanted to plant my Corona story in amongst your Corona stories. And now I'm closing on a bummer. I like to end on an upbeat, but I'm ending on a downer. So sorry everybody. This one comes to us from Pakistan, where a court. This may not be the last word on this, but a lower court at very least has sided with a husband who should not be a husband.
Oh, no.
Because apparently what has happened is a Christian girl, a 14-year-old Christian girl, was abducted from her family and then forced to convert to Islam.
Okay.
And then married to her abductor.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And the courts... Now there is a law apparently in Pakistan that says that you can't marry someone under the age of 18, which...
Unless they were abducted.
Unless you got them fair and square by stealing them. No, but apparently this court has ruled that because of Sharia law, which trumps everything, I guess. If she's old enough to have menstruated, she is of marriageable age. And therefore...
My God.
Now, that ruling doesn't seem to me to address the problems of abduction and forced conversion.
Yeah.
Which also happens apparently more often with Hindu girls. And apparently this is a thing that's happening. Like,
what?
There have been a few cases of it in recent time. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's all horrifying everywhere apparently, and that's a thing that's happening.
Oh my God.
The parents are pursuing the legal, trying to send it up the legal chain as we talked, just like all the things. But as of right now, the courts which are largely run by Muslim people, they're siding with this man. I think probably because he did the right thing and made her a Muslim, like a good, like he's a good Samaritan, really, when it comes right down to it. She was out there being Christian.
If I ever see the Muslim missionary show up at my door,
don't.
They're not getting
hide
a glass
the kids.
of water.
Hide the kids. Good Lord.
Forced conversions?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Which I don't even know what that looks like, other than you're Muslim now, wear this.
No, they get you to, like, they hold a knife to your neck and say, and make you say God is great 3 times or whatever. Right?
Yeah, I think there is a phrase that you can say.
Yeah.
You basically say, I'm Muslim 3 times, and then you're Muslim.
It's like Beetlejuice.
It is like Beetlejuice.
Oh, my God.
Well, if you have any insights you'd like to add about why Beetlejuice is better than being Muslim, you can write to us, podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you can call and leave us a voicemail message. The telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yep. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist. Click the like button.
And while you're on Facebook, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group, but we will let you in. Also find us on Twitter at TGIAtheist.
Oh, Frank.
Damn.
If there's one thing that we can say about Rick Wiles, it's that he's a reasonable man.
He's a nice guy.
He's a nice guy. Unless you're Jewish or anything. Unless you're a reasonable human.
Unless you're not Christian.
Right. And then he's not very nice at all.
Yeah.
However, what we can say is he knows some shit. Unlike that Iranian health minister guy who doesn't know anything about how to prevent a coronavirus from infecting his country, Rick Wiles has it down.
You have a plague, Mr. Xi Jinping. You brought it on China. Now, do the right thing and repent and tell the Chinese people you are sorry, you made a mistake, and you repent, and ask them to put up in their homes the painting of Jesus Christ. Watch what happens if you do it. The plague will stop. You, Mr. Xi, turn to Jesus. You give your heart to Jesus Christ. You repent of your sins. You believe on his name, and you lead China to the cross. Do it, Mr. Xi. Do it for your people. Don't be a fool. Lead China to Jesus. Lead them to salvation. The plague will stop.
Do it for your people. Come on. Come on.
First of all, he says Xi Jinping, which, just get the guy's name right. It's Xi Jinping. I mean, I'm not saying it any more like a Chinese person wouldn't recognize what I'm saying anymore, but like at least get the anglicized version of it right. Also, I love the idea that what he wants everybody to do is put up a painting of Jesus in their home.
That's how you prove that that Jesus is welcome.
Yeah.
Jesus won't go somewhere where there's not a picture of him.
No.
This is a very well-known fact about Jesus. He only likes to be around pictures of him.
It's just a thing about him.
It's kind of a little egomaniac.
I think it's amazing that Christians are like that, because look, we all know that the Muslims don't do, like, you're not allowed to depict Muhammad at all. That's not allowed. They won't do it. Matter of fact, their art has never depicted any human being.
You're right.
Because that's totally forbidden.
You don't.
And Christians think that's so weird. And again, I would say to you, check your fucking 10 Commandments, dickheads.
Oh.
Because the 10 Commandments literally say, I mean, it says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images, which they think means like, oh, that golden calf was a graven image.
That was graven.
No, it says, or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. You're not allowed to draw shit. Like, that's literally an expressly forbidden thing in their own top 10.
God sucks.
God does suck.
No drawings?
God hates art. But no, you're not allowed to depict things visually. That's what that means. Not a fucking thing. But they didn't believe that. They were like, that one's not real.
Well, surely you can do paintings of Jesus.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, and, these trees over here.
And, yeah. I mean,
mountains.
the sort of the Bob Ross palette of things
I like
is
a
fine.
good seascape.
I mean,
personally, like a little beach with the rolling crashing waves.
Maybe a sailboat in the background. That's always nice.
Can junk it up, but sometimes it's nice.
Oh, I think that's what makes it.
No. How about a dolphin?
Look, none of it's
leaping?
Acceptable. Read the commandments.
No,
They're very clear.
Dan.
They're very clear.
No.
Well, we did have some folks write into us, so I will read the commandment of me that I should read those. Damien wrote into us because we were talking about sneezing and the
bless yous.
The bless yous. And we had a listener who was not okay with the bless yous.
Right.
Hey, Frank and Dan, I love your show. I wanted to chime in on the subject of sneezing. I myself sneeze a great deal, just like
me. Hey, Damien.
and as an atheist, I've accepted that it's cultural that people will come in with God bless you.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested in language.
Oh.
And I've tried to memorize the various ways you can say bless you, since it's boring to always say the same one. And Damien lists a series of them in various languages. What do you say in Italian when someone
Salute.
says salute? Well, he lists Dio to benedica.
Yeah, okay.
Like God bless you.
Yeah, okay. That's quite, yeah. It's not like what they really say.
They just say salute.
That would be God bless you.
Right.
But what they say when you sneeze is salute.
Right. Germans say Gesundheit. That just means health. A state of health to you.
Uh-huh.
It doesn't mean to you. I mean, literally translated, it just means healthiness.
Uh-huh.
But one assumes that you're trying to. Anyway, he lists a whole bunch of interesting ones, including Swahili. I'm not going to try to pronounce that. Interestingly, he goes on, some cultures just don't have this custom. In Japan, people will double over with a giant sneeze and no one bats an eye. Actually, most of Asia doesn't have bless you in their past. What I found most interesting is in the Philippines, a very Catholic nation, there is no concept of bless you in native Tagalog, only in English. Apparently, it all goes back to a plague in 570 AD and Pope Gregory I, who decreed people should say God bless you, and it grew from there.
What?
So, basically, over the centuries, you can trace the influence of the church by the spread of the phrase and its various forms.
Interesting.
Yeah, that is interesting. So, there you go.
There's plenty of places say some version of health.
Yes.
They wish you health.
Yeah. But just wishing anything. It is funny that we have to acknowledge these things.
Yeah.
But I get it. Like, you've interrupted our conversation with your little face spasm.
Well, see, okay, there's a thing.
Yeah.
If I'm talking to you and I sneeze, an acknowledgement of that sneeze in some form, okay, fine. Right?
I feel like the
if
sneeze
I'm sitting across the room, right, doing my own thing, we're not interacting, and I sneeze, I do not understand the compulsion of strangers at the supermarket saying "bless you."
It's just ingrained at this point. It's just a nice.
But there are the God blessers of the world.
There are the God blessers.
They feel so compelled, and they think they're being so polite, and they probably wear it as like a
badge of honor.
Distinction, right? I wish people God bless you.
Yeah,
this is something special,
right,
about me. That's about them.
Yeah,
it's not about my sneeze, and that's why I hate it.
It's annoying. It's an annoyance.
It's my sneeze. not your moment to wish me something.
I feel like the sneezer should be the one who's actually doing something. Should say excuse me. Should excuse themselves.
I think
for interrupting.
that they should apologize.
Right. Achoo.
I am
so sorry. Oh my God. I feel terrible. I should never have done that.
just expelled.
I just exploded in your presence.
Yeah.
Ugh. I am the worst.
Yeah.
Hi, Frank and Dan. This is from Ellen. Isn't it kind of pathetic when very intelligent people are also very religious? They tend to have many crises of faith over the course of their lives and will typically convert to another sect or religion at least one time. So many times it comes down to an issue over the translation of a single word in their scripture. Strange how people can be scholarly but also dumb at the same time. Have either of you known any academic religious people before? What do you make of it?
Well, Dan.
I had two parents with PhDs.
Yeah.
You know, both of whom were religious.
Yeah.
So I grew up with understanding that, like, I had my whole thing, and I think a lot of atheists get this wrong. Human beings, really smart human beings, people worthy of respect,
Yeah.
believe things that we don't believe.
Right.
And I think we just have to come to terms with that.
Right.
Human beings, look, I know plenty of very, very smart atheists who believe some bullshit
Right.
about, whatever woo nonsense they believe, or, they believe. Plenty of atheists, plenty of people listening to me right now are about to be offended because I'm going to list their brand of woo that is the one thing that they believe in. I'm going to say something about essential oil, or I'm going to say something about, the astrology or whatever. And they're going to be like, well, he's right about the Christians, but that thing's actually real.
Well, and then there's the other thing. And this is where we like to think that, like, all the people in our group are oh so special and super intelligent.
Right.
Right? Like, you're going to find dumb atheists.
Yeah.
Just because you're smart and you came to a conclusion,
and the thing is,
doesn't mean that everybody who came to the same conclusion got there for the same reasons that you got there.
right.
Right.
So, like, there are brilliant believers out there, and they're smart enough to know, and they actually, like, have worked their way through it. And it's not like they're being ignorant in this one part of their lives. They've found, a way to intellectually come to that belief.
Right.
I think it's something we need to practice being a little more respectful, just because it very clearly doesn't make any sense to us, and we've been through the ringer with it. And yeah, I think that God belief tends to be almost, it's like right on the razor's edge of completely unjustifiable. That doesn't mean that it's like that's true.
Right.
That's just me. That's where I came to. That's you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I've met far too many very, very brilliant believers to allow myself to go to that place.
Yeah, I don't know.
They're pretty stupid.
They seem pretty stupid.
They're all pretty dumb. This is signed Some Anonymous Gay.
Okay.
Who says, "Hello, Frank and Dan. I'm an atheist from Maryland, and I have gone to Catholic schools from preschool to now in high school. Something I noticed about Catholic high school compared to middle school was that their teachings on the LGBTQ plus community are very different. In middle school, we were taught that God doesn't hate the gays. He just disagrees with them. As a gay, I found this to be some laughable shit and wrote my opinions on all the assignments and received numerous Fs for it.
Oh.
These bad grades didn't, but could have affected my high school acceptance. In high school, we are taught that God loves all people regardless of association with the LGBTQ plus community. Why is it that people want the high schools to teach good morals, but not middle school? Aren't you more impressionable in middle school? Also, me and a gay friend were told we quote, looked like faggots.
Oh, great. Oh, yeah.
We didn't respond and just ignored it. Is there a better response to this? to send a message to fuck off.
Well, you can say fuck off.
You could say fuck off, but
I mean,
if
that
it's
does
like,
send the message.
yeah, there's dangers in that,
Yeah, there are.
especially if it's like one of your teachers or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, it's situational.
It is situational. You know,
and-
if it's somebody who's big and looks like they might be violent,
Yeah.
you want to be careful about that.
Yeah, but back to the question about the middle schoolers and why would they teach them something different? Middle schoolers are dicks, right?
Right.
Like they're just playing into like
It may be
they're
that.
playing to the audience.
It may also just be that like the people who control that one school have a different view than the people who control the other school.
Parents can be so fucking weird about like sheltering their kids differently at like different ages, what they want them exposed to and not exposed to, and blah la la, and what they think they're capable of, and instead of, I mean, why would the message be different? It should be the same.
It should be, but like, I mean, okay, so this is here's a life lesson for you, kiddo.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the truth is, the grown-ups don't have their shit together.
Well, yeah.
We're all just sort of scraping by in this world. And so what feels like it should be an obvious thing to make a uniform message across all of these things, different people are just going to spout different shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's, even if they have the same religion, the same ethos or whatever, they're still not going to agree. They're still not going to agree on what approach they should take.
Yeah.
It's great that your high school is being so cool about it.
Yeah.
Because frankly, that might just be dumb luck.
Yeah, because honestly, this probably really boils down to the agenda of the various principals who are in charge of these schools.
Right.
Or education boards or whatever it is, right? Like,
but it's but look, go you.
Yeah.
Be you. I'm so glad that you feel like you've figured out at least some part of who you are.
Yeah.
And don't let anything that they have to say control you, and be who you're doing great. You're doing great. You just keep being you.
It's all bullshit. Get to college.
Get to college. There will be more bullshit there, but it'll be different bullshit, and it'll be interesting.
It's better bullshit.
Yeah,
it's
just
more exciting bullshit.
You know, the best thing you can do is learn to appreciate and watch the bullshit with a like sort of crooked smirk.
Zen like.
Yeah. Appreciate the bullshit. Hey, we had some folks show us their appreciation in a new way, and I'm going to start us off because we have
fantastic.
one faithful PayPal member, who just signed up, and that's Krista. Thank you so much.
And we have a new venerable listener over on Patreon.
Well, blessed be
Lyle.
Oh, Lyle.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thanks to you guys. What these people have done is decided that what we do is of some value to them. Mm-hmm. And if you're listening, you've decided the same. And then you just go to thankgodimatheist.com. You click on the support tab. It takes you to where you want to go. You give us, you decide at what level you can afford to help us out.
Yeah.
And then you contribute, and it's as simple as that.
Yeah. And as always, Dan, we have our top dog.
Yep.
Our Lord and Savior, Davis.
Blessed be Davis. You are you're the eagle that soars above us all,
and the wind beneath our wings.
both.
Dan.
What? What did I do?
Dan!
You're yelling at me now.
It's Lent.
It is Lent.
And because it's Lent, you are required.
Everyone,
Everyone is required, Catholic or not.
give it up.
You got to give something up
Yeah.
for 40 days, Dan. Give it up.
Got to give it up.
Yeah, it's an interesting little practice, right?
Right.
It references Jesus's 40 days in the desert,
Right. Where he went for 40 days without food or drink.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, we don't know about the drink, but without food.
Yeah. And so, he just gave it up. That was what he gave up for Lent.
Right. What are you going to give up for 40 days?
Well, I'm not giving anything up for 40 days.
Well, here's the thing. you and I both were talking about this, and there is some question. I think there might be something of value in this practice if it's done
Secularly.
with a consciousness about a purpose in mind.
Okay.
I feel like there's something real to this. Like, and it may not be a give up. It may be an add to or whatever, but there's something interesting about just the exercise of disciplining oneself. Just, I'm not, I'm not a psychologist. Everybody just curb your shock
Right.
at that.
Right.
But it seems to me that just the practice, and I'm certainly no fan of asceticism. I don't want I don't think that giving things up makes you a better person.
Oh, no. Clearly it does.
You can act like it does. Lots of people do. But I mean,
excuse me?
but I do think there might be something to the practice.
Well, I think that there's something, I don't know, does it maybe help you, as with so many things in life, is willpower a skill that needs to be exercised?
A muscle that needs to be flexed.
Right. Like does this 40-day exercise of saying no to something that you like, that you normally enjoy in your life,
Right.
coffee, you hear people give up
Sure.
coffee, or chocolate.
Oh.
Right?
People, how?
For the chocoholics out there, it's miserable. I've got the shakes already.
Just thinking about it.
No, but like, does that mean that maybe like other things that you might want to abstain from, that you've sort of exercised it, right?
Yeah.
That when it comes time maybe to say, you know what, all that fried food in my diet, it's time to give it up. That
Yeah.
you've worked through this exercise in your life, and you know how to give something up. You know how to change your life, even if just for a short period of time.
Now that's interesting to me, because I do think that there are people, quite a few people for whom their brain has a thing about holding on. It's once it's you don't want to give it up. It almost like our habits, our lifestyle becomes part of our self-image.
Right.
And to give anything up feels like giving up a bit of self.
Yeah.
And so I think it's interesting to choose something that's relatively harmless, that's that you like,
Right.
but you don't need, and just to make a practice of it, just as a I like that thought, just so that, yeah, as you say, when the time comes that your cholesterol comes in at
Right.
some outrageous number, and
Right.
you've got to give something up, you can let go easier. It doesn't feel like
maybe
you're giving up a part of yourself.
right. No, obviously,
I think that's
just
really
kind of
interesting.
And I just kind of flashed to this, and I wouldn't want to like spread the because there's an idea maybe around obesity or overeating in general, right? That it's a lack of willpower. Right.
Yeah.
And that I just, because we used food example and all that kind of stuff, I don't want to I don't even know if I need to say that, but I don't want to suggest that we're like going into that territory. This is a different exercise.
No, this isn't about shaming anyone for anything.
No. It's purely like, what does that mean?
What does it mean to give something up? And it can be very, very difficult, or for some people, maybe it's very easy. I think that there may be an alternative methodology for this too, for a different set of purposes.
Right.
But you could find a concept that is habitual for you and make this a time where you force yourself to give that up.
Right.
A concept like trying to please everybody.
That's interesting.
Or a concept like, just how you deal in your interactions, or how you, giving up disappointments, letting go of the need to be disappointed by things.
Right.
Just find a way to explore the world in a slightly, in one specific, slightly different way.
Right.
For a period of time, for a finite period of time. Just try it on.
Now that's interesting.
I find that fascinating. It seems like it could be really useful. Because you're not committed to it.
Right.
You don't have. You tell yourself this is done in 40 days.
Right.
And if I don't want to continue it, I don't have to.
Right. I'm going to stop being a complete dick to my employees.
No, you're not. I know you, Frank. You're not. Look, the whole point here is you start small with something that isn't integral to your entire
Okay.
personality.
Oh, shit. Okay. So maybe one thing about...
You'll figure it out. Yeah. So, I mean, I think that it's an interesting exercise, not only to do the giving up, but to ask yourself, what could I give up? Like even just like sort of inventorying, that's a word. What you have in your life, what you do in your life, and just trying to understand yourself better by letting go of a thing for a minute, by giving something up. I think that's fascinating. I think we've come up with a really good idea here.
Lent. We just invented Lent.
We invented Lent. Someone should take this and run with it.
Maybe base an entire religious practice on it.
Let's not go weird. Don't make it weird, Frank. Yeah, I don't know. I think that's a thing. I would like to hear from our listeners if they used to do Lent. If you were a Catholic and you used to do Lent, did you find any value in it? I want to hear. And if you've tried it since then, what happened? I'm interested in this.
Yeah. And maybe,
I want to hear from real people, not just us.
not just us.
Yeah.
Because here's what I'm giving up for Lent.
Okay.
Lent.
I'm giving up Jesus for Lent. Anyway, if you do have a Lent story that you'd like to share, please do so. You can do it by the emails. That would be podcast@thankgodimatheist.com.
Or you could call and leave us a voicemail message.
We love to hear your voice.
Yeah, the telephone number is 424-666-8442.
Yeah, great. Go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/TGIAtheist, and click that like button.
And while you're there, search for the TGIA Members Only Lounge and request to join. It is a closed group. We will let you in.
Yep.
Find us on Twitter @TGI Atheist.
Yep. Hey, speaking of the social media, thanks so much to Mackenzie for all of her work on the Facebook page. Thanks to Danny and Amy for being the moderators and the Members Only Lounge.
And a big thanks goes out to the Red Rock Hot Club and to Gordon Johnston for the use of their music.
And thanks to you, person who's hearing this, for tuning into us.
Thank you.
We really appreciate it.
Bye-bye.